Hello, everyone. Welcome to an introduction to the space industry and what exactly is this space? Well, how does it contribute to Earth and how can it affect me? And how can I even work in it? Hello, my name is Farh Yusuf. I'm currently the founder and chief executive officer at AstroPoint. AstroPoint is a space education organization and a space technology one, and we aim to spread awareness of astronomical innovation. We are solely youth-led, which means that students like you, like me, are leading this organization, and not many older people. But yet we become young professionals as we learn and venture throughout this industry. My experience has really helped me become who I am today and has really inspired me to contribute to this field because it's an emerging technology. It's a technology that not only benefits space and exploration, but benefits us here on Earth and allows us to control different things like climate change like never before. So let's begin. So we choose to go to Mars. We also choose to go to the moon. We even go to outer space and interstellar space, beyond the planets, beyond the solar system. But there's something we need. And that thing we need are the space exploration fields. But what exactly are these space exploration fields? And how can you join them? Well, the main one that many people get into is aerospace engineering, which deals with the various technologies such as aircrafts, spacecrafts, as well as has overlapping things between astronautical engineering and aeronautical engineering. So a fun fact, it's also classified as a defense technology, but that does not limit you to just defense and Earth technologies here. Rather, in aerospace engineering, you can contribute to propulsion, which is what the things that power our rockets and allows them to launch. You can even be in charge of shockwaves and making sure that softwares are correct for these rockets. Just watching them launch into the sky, doesn't it tell you that there's some sort of automated machine or software that allows them to launch at exact things? And this is what could prevent specific things like the Long March 5B rockets, declination from its orbit. So you can work to prevent these problems and you can work to innovate and create new solutions that allow these things to become more sustainable, to become more cheap, and possibly even more efficient. There's another subset, which is called astrophysics. Now, if you're a person who's into physics just like me, then you would love astrophysics. It deals with the sky and the art of the sky. What does that mean? Well, it deals with things like celestial bodies, from pulsars to galaxies to neutron stars to anything you can think of that's basically in the sky. It also deals with the different declinations and works really well with aerospace engineering because things like pulsars and radiation emitting celestial bodies or stars can help us communicate. Well, how is that? Well, because they have precise clocks. For example, we can use something that is pulsating and use its signals to communicate with someone else in the interstellar space of space. And it can also help us explore other people and explore different galaxies by looking at the other technologies like sensors that we can use and spectrometers that'll allow us to analyze their temperatures. So in this way, we can be inspired by the sky to innovate on Earth and to innovate for our future civilization. Astrobiology is a study of extraterrestrial life, the early evolution of Earth, the origins of these planets, and considers the question between whether extraterrestrial life exists, and if it does, how can we detect it? Now, we are in the process of trying to detect it. And as much as it sounds like a fantasy to see an alien one day on your planet, well, we try to find that. But the only problem is that we're so familiar with the exact same figure. We're so familiar with how humans look like that we forgot how to detect things that aren't human. So this is what we're trying to do. And as many scientists say, the only thing that could actually change in our universe is biology, because we're not familiar with these biological things. Yes, we understood quantum physics. Yes, we understood that we can see things like quantum mechanics and things can move like we never knew. But in astrobiology, it's super emerging. And we're still theorizing how things could exist. And that is why in movies, you can see this alien which has two hands and an alien that doesn't have two hands. That's what we're trying to find. We're trying to find how biology could be different from what we have, the biology that we have here. And that's why it is super interesting to get into it. Not only will you be working on finding life, but you'll be working on how to use life in order to help our civilization. Like, for example, terraforming Mars, which is turning Mars into something like Earth that we can live on and breathe. There are so many more fields. In fact, I like to think of space like a mirror. Why is that? Well, because if you look at space, we're basically applying all of our knowledge and collaborating, forming lots of connections so that we can go ahead and do space. Thinking of machines, thinking of rockets, all these things require collaboration. They don't only require collaboration, but they require different fields. For example, let us look at the material of the rocket. This all leads back to material science. If we go ahead and we look at the systems of the rocket, this requires systems engineering. All of these things require people, require hard work, and they require you, the youth, because the youth is so capable of exploring and putting different fields together to innovate new things. We need more people who look like me and you, so we can innovate and we can bring more collaboration. And thus, we're going to create new innovations that don't only help Earth, but help us in space. Now, enough of me talking, really, but let's look at the logistical side. What can I work as when I'm in space? Well, there's so many opportunities. You can be a space activist. You can fight for space to be well known, to be through education centers, for people to actually be willing to invest in space, whether it's through monetary investments or even just spending more time to learn about why we are going to space. In that way, you can be a space activist. You can even use STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, and sometimes even art, because art will allow humans to be empathetic. It'll allow humans to be encouraged to actually go to Mars, the moon, and interstellar space. So you can work as so many things. You can work as a mechanical engineer, a mathematician, a marine biologist, an astrophysicist, an astronaut, a computer scientist, an aerospace engineer, an astrochemist. You can even work as a doctor in space medicine. You can work as someone who does drug development. So all of these things will allow us humans to actually venture to the unknown. And there are so many more things that you can teach others at this age. You can encourage astronomy research. You can open a startup. You can do so much just to contribute to the space fields. Or you can make more jobs for people by becoming someone like Elon Musk and Gwynne Shotwell. So you can do all of these things. So now I've come to the end. I'd like to tell you about an example that I have done, and that is AstroPoint, which is a space technology organization and a space education organization which aims to spread awareness of astronomy. It doesn't only aim to spread awareness of astronomy, but also aims to innovate and allow you to create some things, to create things and research that could potentially revolutionize the way we see space. Because youth come together and they form different perspectives that are so different from what we know and what professionals know. So in this way, we come together and we form technologies and research. So we need people like you to form organizations like these. We also have these social media platforms, so if you want to get engaged, be sure to check them out. We provide lots of opportunities for youth and students like you and me, but that's not the important point. The important point is that we need youth like you to innovate and create these opportunities. We need youth like you to actually be interested in joining the space industry and learning about scientific fields. And this is what AstroPoint is for. So thank you so much for listening to me today and hearing some things about my journey and some of the things that I experienced. And it is not going to be an easy one. No journey is an easy one. Being a part of the scientific field, being a part of different diverse things and fields that we can never imagine will allow us to explore further. It will allow you to challenge yourself. Like most say, the sky is not the limit. We've got all of space to discover, and we're just getting started. We're just getting started and planning things for the Artemis for rovers, for Martian discoveries. We're still in the beginning. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation today, and I hope you learned something new. I hope you learned about the emphasis of how space is actually important, and you, just by studying and working hard and providing more opportunities for kids like you and teaching others, well, you'll be able to fully understand the space industry and venture throughout the galaxies. My name is Farah Youssef, and hopefully provided the astronomical spirit of innovation. Thank you so much for listening.